What's up, people? Thank you for taking this ride with me. My name is Chris FL, and I'll be your driver. Welcome to the Good Jones 610 channel. If you enjoy the content, please support. All you gotta do is hit the like button, leave a little comment down there, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on so you don't miss our next trip. Now today, we will be taking a ride through the Jersey Shore. Typically when we do these kind of videos, and other YouTubers as well, we tend to just talk about the family attractions, the beaches, the boardwalks, the nostalgia we have there. We like to take a little trip down memory lane, but today that's not what we're doing. So today we're going to be talking about a lot of the problems, the struggles, the things that real people are really going through down here. With that said, I figured it would make sense to take a ride through one of the towns down here that's been hit the hardest with all these struggles. So with no further ado, let's get into this ride. Welcome to Rio Grande, small town of about 3,500, stone's throw from the wild woods, Cape May, Stone Harbor, all the beaches that we love. It was originally founded in the mid-19th century around a country store owned by the Hildreth family. The community was originally called Hildreth for that reason. During the colonial period, Aaron Leeming, the Hildreths, and the Cresses had plantations in that area, believe it or not, where Kings Highway crossed the road coming from Dennisville and Goshen. The stagecoach terminal was set up and the spot became the center for trade for the local farming. So at that time the area was known as Leeming's for the prominent landholders, or as the Hildreth, the family who ran the local store. They continued to name the area Rio Grande, and that was suggested by the 7th Aaron Leeming, who thought this southern United States river had an attractive sound. The climate in this area is characterized by hot, humid summers and generally mild to cool winters, according to the Köppen climate classification system. Now moving forward, more businesses started popping up in the area. As more businesses popped up, more people moved in, more houses were built, and with that, more problems arise. So one of the main problems that this area struggles with is the homeless population, as well as mental health, which has obviously played a huge part, huge contribution to the ever-increasing homeless population. Now in recent years, we've seen a spike in the homeless population, spike in drug use, solicitation, mental health, poverty, all of these things. Coincidentally, it kind of aligned itself with cost of housing going through the roof, food, everything else. So they all kind of play a part with each other. It wasn't just one thing, but obviously with the cost of housing going up so high, a lot of people found themselves homeless. They found themselves unable to afford the area. So they moved into hotels like this. In 2017, they were trying to combat, the city and Cape May County was trying to combat this homeless problem and kind of bring a little slowdown to it. So what they did was start allowing hotels to accept housing vouchers. What that did is create places like this, what we're looking at right now, that basically became dens for crime, solicitation, drugs, all of that stuff. Instead of these places being a place where tourists could come down for vacation, they became residential neighborhoods. So these are places that people will live for years, and it's kind of like a small version of the projects. Now in Rio Grande, pretty much all of the hotels here accept housing vouchers. At first it seemed like a great idea, help get people off the streets. But as time went on, they found it started creating more problems. The main intersection here in Rio Grande is where Route 47 and Route 9 intersect. That's where all the main businesses are, and that's just kind of the center and the heart of the town. Surrounding that intersection is the residential areas. It's close to all of these hotels that we're talking about, and it's pretty much like a hub for all of the activities. And you will see a lot of stuff, especially in the winter time when tourists go home. It'll be a lot more noticeable. you'll see a lot more people, the homeless people outside, congregating on corners in front of businesses. There's been a lot of issues as well and complaints from the business owners about the homeless people leaving syringes in front of the buildings, all types of trash in front of their stores. And now in the past, police would be able to come and arrest these guys and, you know, get them out of the way, relocate them, or in some cases, you know, put them in jail. In recent years, they put more restrictions on the police about using force. So now when these businesses call the police and say, hey, these people are leaving, you know, syringes, drug paraphernalia, liquor bottles, all this stuff in front of my store, you know, harassing people, creating problems, the police can't do anything. Basically, the police can come up and tell them, ask them to move, and if they don't, you know, basically they can't do anything. They can't even arrest them. So the police can't really do anything at this point, and it's not their fault. It's just the way that these laws have been set up now, for police to just do this soft policing where they really can't do their job. They just kind of have to let all this stuff happen. And as you can imagine, the problems just continue to get worse. So with all of that, now in Rio Grande, we've also seen a spike in crime. So it's not just homelessness, it's not just, you know, the mental health, it's not just that, it's the crime too. A lot of it is petty crime, theft, burglary, things like that. But you know, it's enough that it's become a problem and that's become noticeable, and it's gotten this town quite a reputation in the area. And in certain spots, you know, certain hotels, certain, you know, trailer parks or streets, people kind of know about these places and know this is where a lot of this stuff is going on. Now the police know as well, but there's just not much they can do. In the past couple years, they had a big problem with the fentanyl, the heroin, and again, they weren't able to arrest anybody. So what they were doing at that point was just hitting them with Narcan if they had overdosed in public, and then, you know, giving them Narcan to hold on to so they could use it in the future. But one of the problems that's created, although it is a good thing, I mean, it has reduced the number of overdoses we've seen in this town, but it has also kind of encouraged these things. So now we've seen a spike in the drug use, in the drug trade, you know, so not just the use, but the dealing of it. Become a hot spot for people to come here to make their purchases, to come shop, as some may say. So in the past years, when they were giving people Narcan, that seemed to help. More recently, probably in the last 2 years, the methamphetamine issue has become much bigger of a problem. So now Narcan, none of this stuff works, and we're dealing with a whole nother problem now. We got a whole nother monster growing right here. So that's going to be a whole nother problem that they need to address. At the end of the day, it's like one thing after the next, and it's all coming back to the price of living, the cost of housing. As the cost of housing went up, people became homeless, people became depressed and hopeless, so they turned to drugs to feel better. Then they go to the drugs, now they start creating these mental health issues where they start losing their minds. Now that the methamphetamines are becoming popular, you can imagine even more people are going crazy on that stuff. It's just like a never-ending cycle going on, and if you ask me, it's all created by the price of housing. If people were able to afford, and if people were able to make decent wages and afford houses at a reasonable price and, you know, live fairly comfortable, a lot of these problems would just disappear. I mean, they'd still be there to a certain extent, but we wouldn't see so many people out in the streets struggling like this. So with all that being said, I have no intentions of shaming anybody that lives here, judging, anything like that. My only purpose here is to bring awareness, let people know what's going on, so we can start fighting for living wages, at least decent wages, you know, that we can feed ourselves from, that we can afford housing. These are things that we desperately need. Rio Grande is just one place that's struggling with this. This is a nationwide crisis we're dealing with, and more people, you know, especially people that have resources, people that have influence, people that have a voice. These are the things we really need to fight for, and that's for all of us, you know, regardless of your skin color or race. We all need to be fighting for this one same cause, so we can all live better lives together. That's it. So shout out to Rio Grande, shout out to everybody out there who's going through the struggle and trying to ride this storm out, man. And you know, let's get through it and let's get to it, man. We got some work to do. Alright, y'all, and that's gonna wrap everything up here. So I appreciate you guys for taking this ride. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to support this channel. And thanks for taking this ride with me, guys. Take care, be safe.